Hello folks, it's me, I'm Biggy, and I am back, and now it's time to save state to slot 2. Yes, before we can finally continue, let's have a look at our pilots, because we've got a bunch of new pilots to go through. Let's start off with Amuro, why not? The commander of Londonbell's mobile suit force, ranked lieutenant, he piloted the RX-S78-2 Gundam during the One-Year War. His record-setting battle results lets the Federation know of the existence of new types. After the war, however, the Earth Federation, fearing the power of new types, forced him into house arrest. He later joined Kabata, an organization in support to the AEUG, becoming commander of its mobile suit force. Just to give a little bit of context here, new types are basically the next evolution of human beings. When they're born in space, they gain pretty much psychic abilities. So he was later joined the AEUG, which is the Anti-Earth United something, and became the commander of its mobile suit force. Yep, and he joined the Earth Federation Force Autonomous Corps Londonbell after the first Neo-Zeon movement, and he later fought against his longtime enemy Char Aznable, now the leader of Neo-Zeon, to stop his global cooling strategy. During the One-Year War, he was naive, spoiled, high-strung, but the people he met during the war let him awaken as a new type, and even after that, the experience he went through led him to mature into an adult. At the end of the second Neo-Zeon movement, after stopping Axis from falling into Earth, he and Char Aznable were declared missing in action together with the unit he developed for himself, the Mu Gundam. Here's yep. Voiced by Toru. Yep. Anyways, and we also have here a Bright Noah. Just see him. He's from the series of Mobile Suit Gundam Char's Counterattack, but he's been there for long before that. He's the most famous captain of all the Gundam series. Although not a new type, he was always considered a sort of a fatherly figure to the protagonist. Even though he started piloting, became a captain only at 17, for crying out loud. A very strict man, as shown when he was slapped Amuro for not wanting to fight, but one who could also exhibit the kind of humanity that let his subordinates trust him with their lives. In the Mobile Suit Gundam, he was a mere 19. Yes, 19 years old, not 17. He was a 19-year-old cadet when he wanted the Bite base, but since Paolo, the original captain, was fatally wounded during a raid by Char Aznable, he was forced to take command. At first, his inexperience was evident. He could barely handle the pressure of being in command, but as he went through multiple battles, he grew up both as captain and as a man. After the One-Year War, he married the helmswoman of the White Base, Mirai Yashima, and had a son, Hathaway, and a daughter, Chaemin. During Mobile Suit Zeta Gundam, he was promoted to commander, but was basically forced to a mindless job, and he was assigned to Temptation, a furry. However, he led the army after the Titans arrested him, joining the AEUG as the captain of their flagship, the Argama. In Mobile Suit Gundam Double Zeta, set after the Grips conflict, he remained the captain of the Argama against Harman Khan's Neo-Zeon. During the events narrated in the movie Mobile Suit Gundam Charter's Counterattack, he was assigned as a captain to the Rakhylam, the flagship of the Earth Federation Force Autonomous Corps, Londonbell, fighting against Char Aznable, the new leader of the Neo-Zeon, and his global cooling strategy. When the Mobile Suit Gundam was in its planning stages, Bright's name was Shintaro Hanabusa, and the design notes stated that he was going to be blonde with a blue uniform. Ooh dear. Hiroyuki Kizutame, the character designer for Mobile Suit Gundam Char's Counterattack. This is a lot of backstory, by the way. Said that he wanted to give Bright a mustache and beard to show him he was older and more mature, but Tomino, however, said Bright wouldn't have that kind of beard. Yeah, true. And we have Fa. Fa here is from the Mobile Suit Zeta Gundam. We don't have Camille yet, though. Yes. Okay. Fa is a young lady who was Camille's neighbor when they lived on the Green Noah Colony 1 at Side 7. Side 7 is one of the space colonies. She became a pilot of the AEUG after her parents were arrested by the Titans. Oh dear. Titans is basically, just to give a little bit more context between what's happening in Gundam, is that firstly it was Earth against space units, colonists. They're called Neo-Zeon, which is kind of neo-Nazi type group, and they said that people from space are superior to Earth, and they started a war. But then after the Zeon has lost, Earth became kind of like a fascist government with the Titans controlling everything. So just imagine Titans being like corrupt English, like either English or US government. Yeah. And they were lived on Green Noir 1, which is always taking care of Camille out of courtesy, but when she joined the AEUG, she was the one relying on Camille. In order for him to acknowledge her, she began to try very hard, getting herself in danger on multiple occasions. So she leaves Argma at the beginning of Mobile Suit Gundam Double Zeta to take care of Camille after his mind was crippled by Scirocco at the end of the Mobile Suit Zeta Gundam. Yeah. So the end of Mobile Suit Zeta Gundam is not a very happy ending. Not at all. Okay, we've seen Hayato, we have Jack, see there's Kane. Kane here. He's a 16-year-old civilian who lives in space colony, Alucard. Alucard? And attends the Astronauts Academy. His parents are divorced, and his father is a staff officer from the Earth Alliance when his mother works at the Colony Immigration Center. Oh, that's going to cause some conflicts when the war started. But his best friends are Tap and Light. When Giganos attacked Alucard, they met a man in possession of data discs for a secret weapon who had been shot. Before dying, he entrusted them with the discs, and later, while fleeing, they found a hangar with the secret weapons, Dragonar, stored. They activate them using the disc and became their pilots. However, they didn't note that activating them would register them as their only pilots, as an authentication system was installed aboard the robots. For this reason, they were forced to become soldiers for the Earth Alliance. Even though he showed a strong sense of duty and justice at the times, usually he acts like a big old bully, trying to be a playboy and acting without thinking first. For this reason, he usually gets himself and those around him in trouble. He has a pompadour originally, but the drill sergeant cut his hair. Oh dear. He fell in love at first sight with Linda, one of the refugees from the moon. As we saw in an earlier story, was actually the sister of the enemy lead character. And we have Light here. Light Newman. Yangami? Is that you? Anyways, here's a 17-year-old young man born of noble blood. Like Kane, he is a student of the Astronauts Academy. He became a pilot of Dragonar 3 and has a deep knowledge of electronic engineering. He liked the electronic warfare until Dragonar 3's unit. Oh, he liked the electronic warfare unit Dragonar 3 at first glance, and of the three friends, he might seem the calmer and the more intellectual one. But he gets carried away as easily as Kane and Tap and plays the role of the handsome, funny man. Okay. He usually is one stopping Kane when he tries to run ahead without thinking. Probably a straight man, more than that. Then he was born in a wealthy family, but he enrolled in the Astronauts Academy to get away from that life. But thanks to the way he was raised, he knows how to use honeyed words on a lady. Though he has a picky eater and a dandy. Okay. Oh, all right. I guess I used more of this kind of voice on you then. Hey, there's Mary we saw earlier, Musashi, and Nana. Knowing, here we are. As an officer of the Earth Alliance Military Special Force, the Oz, adores Zex Marquis and counts of the minutes between of each following meeting with him. Oh, she's an officer of the Earth Alliance Military Special Force, OZ. Adores Zex Marquis and counts the minutes between each following the meeting with him. I think this is poorly translated. Anyways, she was the instructor of at the Lake Victoria base, raising the young Oz recruits, but the training was cut short when Wu Fei attacked the base. That's one of the Gundams. Gundam Shenlong, yep. Destroying the barracks and killing many students. When Zex left Oz, she kept an eye on his sister Elena and assisted in the reconstruction of the Zack Kingdom. In the final episode of the TV series, spoilers territory now, she fought alongside the Gundam pilots and faced Zex. Zex refused to kill her, and Noin decided to watch over his final battle against Hiro. Okay. Nice. And we have Sayla here. Sayla is actually available as a pilot. Yep, she's a civilian woman that boarded the white base at Site 7, and her true identity is Ateza Som Daikun, the daughter of Zeon Zoom Daikun and the sister of Kazval Rem Daikun, better known as Charles Aznable. Yeah, when she boarded the white base, she was an operator but later served as a pilot. As a doctor in training, she was also in charge of medical care, as she couldn't confirm that Charles Noble was really her brother. She would often put herself in danger in order to collect information regarding him. She later confirms his identity and her plan to kill the Zabi family one by one in order to avenge the death of their father. Just so to give some context, Zeon Zum Daikun was the one who started the was the one who created the whole Neo Zeon movement, but then the Zabi brothers are the one who killed him and turned the movement into violence. Yep. And her and her brother wanted to take back the Zeon movement, and I'm not sure make it peaceful again, but I think that whole thing got kind of twisted when Char goes into war. But anyways, that's Sayla. And we have Shiro. Shiro is a young soldier who was appointed as a new leader of the 8th MS team. Though he wasn't very experienced, he gained the trust of his comrades with his actions and managed to keep all members of his squadron alive. After meeting Aina, he started doubting the reality of war and decided to fight only for what he believed in. That's it. That's all you're gonna give him? Yep. And there's Tap Oceano, a 16-year-old young man from New York. Like Kane, he was a student of the Astronauts Academy. He became the pilot of the Dragonar 2. Even though he's quite strong, he has a gentle heart. He's also very cheerful, just like Kane and Light, and his parents and his sister live in New York. He's very devoted to them. He sends parts of his salary as soldiers to them. His parents were musicians. He loved music himself, and he once said that the CD player he always brings with him is the third most important thing in his life. Aww. His favorite genres are rock and jazz. His dream is to make it into show business, managing a musical troupe. He's a feminist and quickly becomes good friends with Rose, whoever Rose is. Yep. And let's have a look at some of our units here. Oh, look at that. That's the Argma, which is the Assault Space Cruiser ship that was both the flagship and the symbol of the AEUG. Its design was based on the most famous ship of the One-Year War, the White Base. Its code name during development was White Base 2. It could perform the atmospheric entry using the Balut system. Its first captain was Henken Beckener, but Bright Noah, the captain of the White Base, later took over the role. Okay, just look at that. That's a 40-meter... It's only 40 meters long? 40 meters tall, probably, and weighs 187 tons. If it's only 40 meters long, I doubt we could fit somebody like, where are you? Deimos, who's already himself 45 meters tall. Yeah. So just thinking, it's really he needs to be stored sideways on the side. Okay. Anyways, here's Boss Barato. Oh wait, we already saw Boss Barato. Diana Ace. Dragonars. Yep. Abbreviated as D1, this test type of metal armor is designed for close quarter combat and excels maneuverability. The term metal armor is a general term for humanoid mobile weapons developed by the Giganos Empire. The original models that were later developed into weapons were called metalworkers and were the robots used for manufacturing work on the moon surface. The Dragonar units were also developed by Giganos, and the Earth Alliance stole them. Wait a minute, I'm reading through this way too quickly. Yep. Okay, so... metal armor, close quarter combat, maneuverability, metal armors, general term for humanoid mobile weapons, developed by the Giganos Empire. So it's... the original models were later developed into weapons and were used as metalwork, called metalworkers, used for manufacturing work on the moon surface. Okay, the Dragonar units were actually developed by Giganos, and the Earth Alliance stole them. The 3 units are called the D-weapons. As the Earth Alliance didn't possess the technology to produce metal armors, the D-weapons would have been trump card that would have turned the tide of war. Its main weapons are the 75mm hand railgun and its close quarter laser sword mounted on the hips. The 2 laser swords can combine into twin swords. It's also loaded with shoulder bombs, and its onboard AI called Clara. Kara? Undertale? Anyways, abbreviated as D2, this test type metal armor is designed for long-range support. Its main weapons are the 280mm rail cannons mounted on both shoulders, which can pulverize the enemy at a single hit from afar. The onboard AI is called Sonya. And they abbreviate as D3. This test-type metal armor is designed for electronic warfare. With its advanced ability for reconnaissance, enemy detection, and intelligence gathering, it can both offer strategic support for the D1 and D2 units while confusing the enemies at the same time. It can hack enemy computers, interrupt the information feed, feeding them false information. However, as it was not produced for battle, its weaponry and armor are at a minimum to make space for its multiple sensors and radars. The onboard AI is called Maggie. Oh, nice. And here's the EZ-8. EZ-8 is a custom Gundam ground type with extra armor. It's a specialized unit exclusively used for ground battles, and it carries a storage container on its back. The name is a abbreviation of Extra 08. That's very limited background. And here's the Gundam, the original, the best. Yep, the all-purpose mobile suit developed by the Project V of the Earth Federation forces, who entered the mobile suit development much later than the Zeon army. So the multiple number of RX-78-2 is its performance far surpasses that of the Zeon Saku. So much more than Amuro. So much that Amuro, just a villain at the time, managed to destroy 2 Zakus the first time piloting it. So the Gundam has a lot of new technologies that forever changed the development of mobile suits. It carried mobile suit-sized mega particle cannon, never seen before in the war. So mobile particle cannon is usually a reserved for battleships. So imagine somebody being able to hold a particle cannon strong enough to destroy battleships as a rifle type weapon. Yeah, it's ridiculous. But it can also perform atmospheric re-entry on its own, which is amazing. The core block system, it carries weapon and allows it to fight both close and long range. The core block system basically Amuro's situation inside an airplane unit. So it's basically an ejector seat that's more like an ejector plane. So it ejects out of the body and can fly away to safety. It also carries weapons that allows it to fight at both close and long range, and the learning computer and the new high-tech material armor was made out of. Thanks to Amuro's awakening as a new type, which had him even more of a force to be reckoned with, the Zeon soldiers started calling the Gundam the Federation's White Devil, or the Federation's White Shooting Star, or the White One. That's okay, anyways, during the original series, as Amuro's new type abilities let him reach the limits of a mobile suit's performance, the Gundam was given a magnetic coating, which reduced friction in the joints and allowed for reduction in reaction time. After the end of the 1 Year War, the legend of this unit continued as more newly developed mobile suits also use the Gundam name. So he is the original, the one, the only, the Gundam. And here's the Mythos. Yep. Oh, they have different things for different entries for different forms. So a prototype transformable unit developed by Anaheim Electronics as part of Project Zeta. Even though it's very fast and very agile, its armor is not very solid, so overall it's not a particularly good mobile suit. Only one model was sent to the Agama. It is known for its pipe-shaped abdomen and beam gun on its arms. Even though it appears at the beginning of Mobile Suit Gundam Double Zeta, it leaves soon after along with Fa, its pilot. Yeah. The mobile armor form of the prototype transformable unit developed by Anaheim Electronics, and this mobile suit was produced to test this kind of transformation mechanic, so it's a test unit. After being produced, it was sent to Argama and was used as a high-mobility space fighter during the Grips conflict. Yeah. And here's the Taurus. Yep. A mass-produced mobile suit developed by Oz. Originally developed for the space operation, it could also work within an atmosphere. As it can transform into a fighter form, its speed surpasses that of traditional mass-produced models. Normally, these mobile suits were painted black, but those that fought to protect the Zank Kingdom, such as Knowing's Taurus, were painted white. It was named after the zodiac sign Taurus, the bull. The Taurus fighter form is allowed to fight within an atmosphere and drastically increases its speed. Cool. And that's it. That's all the newer units we have. And we could switch pilots if we like. With, for example, Sayla. But we're not sure if we're going to... all the Gundams here could be to switch pilots with Amuro to take on the Gundam. And that's one of the cool things about it. Oh, 172 range strength. And Mazinger here could switch with Boss and Sayaka. And I'm not sure, but later I think we could have units be able to equip more things. Then we have ourselves some newer things like the Mega Booster, which lets us move 2. We also have Radar Module, which range +1 to all weapons except mapped and 1 range ones, which is amazing in itself. And we have Fuel Cartridge and Repair Kits. But that we'll have to wait until next time on what we're going to give our units. This will be Biggy, and I'll be back next time. See you guys in a bit.